Hi, I'm Matt, and on today's Matt's World DIY, I'm making a delicious chocolate pudding. It's rich, it's creamy, it's homemade, and I'm making today's dish in honor of Valentine's Day. So let's get to it. The very first thing I'm going to do today is get the garnish prepared. And because I'm doing this for Valentine's Day, I want to make some little chocolate hearts that I'm going to put as a garnish on my chocolate pudding cup. So I've got about 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. I'm going to melt those in the microwave. It's with some short bursts, and then put that into a little baggie and then pipe out some little hearts. So we'll be right back. So my total melting time in the microwave was about 1.5 minutes, and these are now very warm. And if you know anything about chocolate, it's got a pretty low melting point. It may not look like they're totally melted, but just stir it up for a little bit and you will be good. I also saw another method of melting chocolate where someone took a chocolate bar and put it in hot water, like a bowl of hot water for 1 minute or 2 or 3, and then took it out and was able to snip it and pipe out some shapes. What I have is a baggie that I've placed into a little cup, and I'm going to pour my chocolate into it. Now I'm going to use my little baggie as a piping bag. So let's pull it out of the cup. And I'm going to push all of the chocolate into a corner. I am not the best artist, but I'm going to give this my very best shot of piping out hearts. I want to snip off just the end of my bag. I want to make it really pretty fine. Now I have my chocolate. It's ready to start coming out. So here we go. Let's start piping out some hearts. When you're piping these out, make sure that they have a thick enough edge so that it doesn't break whenever you remove it from the parchment paper. And so you see what I have done was I've placed parchment paper on a baking sheet so that I can use it to remove the heart after it has set and is nice and solid. I'm making a lot of them so that I have options. I'll pick the best ones and put them into my, as a garnish on my dish. So let's put the hearts in the refrigerator so that they can set, and then we'll get with our recipe. You need 3 egg yolks. So I'm going to separate the yolks from the whites, and maybe I'll use the whites in an omelet. 3 yolks. That second one broke just as it went into the bowl, so whew, got lucky. In a large bowl, I'm going to start assembling my ingredients. So I'll start with 1/2 cup of sugar, 3 egg yolks, 1/3 cup of cocoa powder. I want to sift this because it just is notorious to have lumps and bumps in it. I'm also going to sift 4 teaspoons of cornstarch. Before I start mixing this, I'm also going to put in 1/2 cup of my milk, roughly 1/2. It doesn't have to be exact, but this will help just incorporate things better. If you didn't use the milk, it's not a crime. It's not going to be a disaster. It's just going to be a bit more thick. So I'm going to use my electric mixer, and be careful whenever you're working with cocoa powder. It loves to fly and it loves to stay away from the moisture. So I'm going to just kind of mix it a little bit with my mixer off, and then I'm start low speed. Just go low speed, low, slow, and take it easy, and you'll be good. Ooh, there it is. Wow. I'm going to actually try to mix it a little bit with my spatula first. Still doesn't help. That cocoa powder just loves to hang out on the top. It's just like, nope, not doing it. Like an uncooperative person. It'll get there though. You just have to have patience. Even uncooperative people come around sometimes. I'm going to try that again. Go low and slow for about 2 minutes. Everything will get incorporated. It's fine. And I'm just going to scrape my bowl down just to make sure all the little bits that are hanging out on the sides get pulled in. So I'm going to set this aside and get my milk prepared, get my milk ready. To get the milk prepared, you're going to pour 1.5 cups of milk, whole milk, not skim, not low fat, whole milk into your saucepan. And you're going to get that to a simmer, and then we'll remove it from the heat. But notice we said 1.5 cups in here because I put 1/2 cup into the other mixture. So it's a total of 2 cups, but 1.5 in the simmering pot, and then 1/2 was in our mixture. So let this come to a simmer, then we're going to take it off of heat. You don't want to get this really to a boil quite yet. You just want to get it warm. You just want it to come to a simmer. And you'll see on the edges of your pot, you'll see the tiny little bubbles forming. And so that's what we want. And then what we're gonna do is we'll take it off the heat and put it into our other mixture and then go from there. So while the temperature on this is rising, you want to make sure you stir it constantly because it'll stick on the bottom of your pan, and that's not something that we want. If you're looking for a nice sweet dish to make for your sweetheart for Valentine's Day, this is the best and a fairly easy recipe to put together. You may require a little planning, like do it the night before or early in the morning so that the pudding has time to set overnight or throughout the day. Another option is some people like this stuff warm. So that's an idea. You can dip cookies in it and it's just, so delicious. Now what I want to carefully pour this a little bit at a time into my chocolate mixture because I don't want my eggs to cook and curdle. So I'm just gonna put a little bit in there and temper it so that the chocolate has a little time to get accustomed to the new temperature. So it doesn't, so the eggs have time to acclimate to the warmer temperature. Pour it a little bit at a time and a little bit more, and then we're about to pour the whole thing in. And make sure you're stirring constantly, and then I just pour the rest of it in. Whisk this up, get everything nice and well incorporated, and then we're gonna put this back in the bowl and back on the heat. Now I'm gonna pour my liquid mixture back into my pot. I want this to come to a boil, and then I'm going to turn it down and simmer it for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now, while this is on the heat, make sure you are stirring constantly. Keep an eye on this because it will scorch, it will burn, it will be not what we're looking for. Don't leave it alone. It's kind of like a little toddler. Don't leave it alone. It will get into trouble. Or a puppy. Puppies, oh my God. Hey, you know what? This is a good opportunity for me to tell you, if you like what I'm creating on my channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're viewing this and you haven't subscribed yet, it really will be a big favor to me if you actually hit that subscribe button because it will help my statistics and the algorithm will appreciate me a little bit more and be a little bit more kind. So consider doing that for me. I'd really appreciate it. That is my boil that I'm talking about. I want to take and turn it down now to a simmer, and I'm going to stir it. It's doing like lava. It's blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm going to continue mixing this for about 2 minutes. Okay, I'm turning my heat off, and I'm going to pour this into my bowl, back into my bowl. So while it's hot, I'm going to add in my ½ cup of chocolate chips. So I'm going to mix this up until all those chocolate chips melt. All right, and just like that, all of those chips have melted. This looks super good. While your pudding is still warm, get your ramekins or your custard cups. You could use coffee mugs if you wanted, little cappuccino cups, or if you want to just keep it in the big bowl and then put it in the refrigerator. But I'm going to go ahead and ladle some into my little ramekins for myself and for my friends and family. Before I put these in the refrigerator to chill, I want to take some plastic wrap and cover them, of course they're individuals, so cover them and push the wrap onto the surface of your pudding and then just wrap it like that. And this will prevent a skin from forming while it's in the chilling process. So do that for all 4 of them and then put them in the refrigerator for a few hours. That gives them enough time to set. And then you can decorate however you like. If you want to just shave some chocolate over the top of it, that's perfect, that's great. If you want to make a homemade whipped cream, you can do that. I'm going to do that for us here in a minute. So these will go into the refrigerator for a few hours just to set, and then we can take them out and then garnish them. Now let's make some whipped cream. I'm going to take 3/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream, put it in my bowl, and I could use a whisk and manually do this, but I'm feeling kind of lazy, so I'm going to take my hand mixer and mix this up just for a few minutes to beat this into a nice creamy consistency. This looks perfect. Be careful though, if you beat your whipped cream too much, it'll become grainy, and that's not something you want. You want to keep it creamy, so I've just beat a bunch of air into it, but not too much. I've put a little bit of sugar in it just to sweeten it up just a touch. So my pudding has been chilling for a few hours now in the refrigerator, and now it's time to garnish. Now I'm going to take a nice dollop of whipped cream and place on each one of these, along with a nice little strawberry to go on the corner. And then I'm going to take one of my little hearts. Now I have to pick which ones are the best ones. And I'm just going to lay it in the whipped cream so it kind of stands out. That looks divine. I hope you get a chance to make this recipe for your loved one during Valentine's Day or any day. It's delicious, it's rich, it's creamy, it's chocolatey, it's delightful. And if you like this recipe, go ahead and like and subscribe, as well as check out some of my other sweets and bakes that I have on my Sweets and Bakes playlist. I'll see you next time.